Hello. Today we're talking about the most glorious QB battle in the entire NFL. Cleveland Browns, Shedeur Sanders to Deshaun Watson. Yeah, no, this is not a good QB battle. But here, I brought some friends along to help you guys visualize this. So this is my friend Ned Leeds, but we're going to pretend this is Deshaun Watson. He's a regular guy. Now this is also Ned Leeds, but we're going to pretend this is Shedeur Sanders. Regular guy, but this one has a cloak. Now, you're probably wondering, what's the cloak for? Well, the cloak means he doesn't have any sexual charges against him. So let's get right into it. Let's really set the stage for how horrible this QB competition is. We're going to be looking at, one, their training camp stats from this year, and then their stats from the past few seasons. Obviously, we're going to go Watson's 24 season because he didn't play last year, and Shedeur's 25 season. Whew. Now, I do want to say before we get into it, you have Dillon Gabriel and Tylon Green as, quarterbacks competing. They're competing for third string. So yeah, they won't really be included in this video, obviously, as you can tell from the Ned Leeds thing. So, Deshaun Watson, in camp so far, in 12 days, 175 completed passes on 270 attempts for a 64.8 completion percentage, with 19 touchdowns and 9 interceptions in 12 days. Now, he has got them a little more first-team reps than Shedeur Sanders, who has 173 completions, but only on 247 attempts. So that's a 70 completion percentage. And he has 12 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. Now, I'll say this about the TDs. TDs don't mean a whole lot in training camp. I mean, go look at a guy like J.J. McCarthy, who lost the, in quote, QB battle he had with Kyler Murray. He had a lot of TDs last year, but what did that relate to? Nothing. So, but it does say something that the interceptions they've thrown. Now, Shedeur Sanders has thrown 4 in 12 days, which is not bad. That's 1 every 3 days. I mean, you'd like that to be lower, but it's not bad. But Deshaun Watson with 9 in 12 days, that's ridiculous. That should never be happening from a starting NFL quarterback. By the way, these are just 11 on 11 stats. I don't believe these include 7 on 7s. I am using QB Tracker. Now, listen. If we're going strictly off this, it's obvious Shedeur Sanders their guy. But that's not what they're going off of, which is fair. So now we're going to go take a look at their stats from the past 2 seasons for them. Of course, looking at his stats, Shedeur Sanders had 1,400 passing yards, 7 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions on a 56 completion percentage with a 68.1 QBR. Now, PFF grade, he was 44.1, which was 42 among 43 players. And I will say, PFF isn't typically great. I'll say that. But I do also want to point out that he had 169 rushing yards on 21 carries and a touchdown. Along, he did take 23 sacks. Now, on paper, these stats aren't good. On film, they're honestly kind of worse. I feel like in a lot of games, I will say not all the interceptions were his fault. Looking at the stats and film, there's a few Jerry Jeudy dropped ones that landed right in the defense's hands. And I will say Shedeur Sanders has shown that he can make some great throws, but he hasn't shown much else. His decision-making is quite low for an NFL starting quarterback, which is, not what you want to see. He really likes to push the ball downfield, even when he doesn't need to. But he did show some promise. And I will say he only attempted 212 passes in 8 games. So, I don't know. Maybe the first team reps are really going to kickstart it for him, but let's go into Deshaun Watson now. Numbers are going to be quite close because Deshaun Watson only played in 7 games in the 2024 season. Now, in said games, He went 137 completions to 216 attempts with a 63.4 completion percentage, 1,100 yards, 33 sacks taken in 5 games, which is crazy, with 5 passing touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Now, in terms of rushing, he had 1 rushing touchdown on 31 carries for 148 yards. His passer rating was a 79. And, wow. Oh, sorry, let me look at his PFF as well. His PFF grading was, wow, that he doesn't even have one. That is interesting. I don't know why he doesn't, but yeah. So, again, this is another film one where all 3 of the interceptions were definitely his fault. I mean, if you look like that in camp 2, he just throws it to the defense constantly. But also, there was a lot of times on film where he visibly gives up on plays. There was times where the coaches would be like, hey, we're going for it on 4th down. Deshaun Watson would take his helmet off and sit on the bench. Which, that's shitty for your quarterback to do. That's supposed to be the leader of your team. So that's the next one I want to get into. Who has the locker room? The locker room is definitely more united with Shedeur Sanders. They play more inspiring football. I know, again, Deshaun Watson didn't play last year, but in 2025, they were not inspired. The offense did not care. Now, I will say the offense is quite different from than it was, but it felt like they just kind of didn't care because they knew their quarterback didn't care. But Shedeur Sanders, he pushes the ball. He tries to make the big plays. And it is obvious his team appreciates that, and they correspond to that. But I will say, given that, his team does seem to be frustrated with him a lot, considering how he chooses the decision to make looking at the film. But it does seem like the locker room has Shedeur's side well over Watson's. But the biggest thing that I think it comes down to is the contract situation. Now, Shedeur Sanders is on a very, very small contract, obviously. But Watson, his contract is huge. I'll actually pull it up right now. His contract, as of right now in 2026, is his AAV is 46 a year, 46 mil. This year's cap hit is 41 million, and his cash payout for this season is 46 million. That's absurd. That's absurd for any quarterback. Let alone Deshaun Watson, who, again, don't forget, his contract was fully guaranteed. I do believe this is his last year of his 5-year contract, but this is a guy that is making literally $46 million, and like I think that's going to be what gets him the start. I do project him to be the week 1 starter because of just the salary hit in general. I think that is enough for them to look at this and go, hey, all right, he's making $61 million a year from us. I think we just give him it. And I sadly think that's the truth. I don't think Shedeur really has a shot because of that. Maybe later in the year Shedeur can start. But yeah, I mean, this is the saddest QB battle I've ever seen in the past few years. Not ever seen, but in the past few years, I would argue this is the worst. And we've had Gardner Minshew versus Aiden O'Connell. Yeah, I would argue this is worse. So, I mean, give me your thoughts in the comments. Give me your opinions. I'll say I'm rooting for Shedeur over Deshaun. I cannot support Deshaun Watson because of his off-the-field antics. But I do expect him to get the week 1 start. Now, thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the video. Spread some love and positivity.